Hello guys, I want to start off by apologizing about the audio quality for the first part of what you guys are about to view. We're using an in-car camera outside the car and in the car, and whenever we had the power supply hooked up to it, it was creating really bad feedback. However, when you see me wearing this Bradley sweatshirt, we're actually using an entirely different camera, and hopefully this will help sort everything out. So just kind of tough through it, and maybe if you want to, you can actually fast forward to this stuff. Again, I want to apologize about all that. Welcome to Blazer Motorworks, where today we're telling knock-knock jokes with a 2003 Chevy Blazer. Now I see on YouTube there's a lot of videos out there that have these 4.3 liters that have a knocking sound to them, and everybody has their own opinion about what exactly the problem is, whether it be a flex plate that's cracked or broken, lifters, valve springs, piston skirts, rods, bearings, and everything. Well, today we're not only gonna give you guys the sound that we're looking for, but we're actually gonna go through and figure out what the sound is. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the mic or not for this camera. But we're also going to record the engine bay itself and give you guys a sound. Right now, like, my oil pressure is above 40 psi. The truck's running just fine. It just sounds like shit. So we're kind of just driving around town to see if maybe you guys can pick up on the sound or not. And if not, I guess we're just going to cut a lot of this out, which I won't do it.
Yeah, that's alright.
But anyway, I'm Devin, and this is Glenn.
Hello.
And we do have a Facebook page, Blazer Motorworks, Blaizin Motorworks. And if you check out our Facebook page, you'll see that we were supposed to have
Quite a bit of episodes recorded already.
like July of at least a couple years ago was supposed to be our first episode. And well, it wasn't. So this is going to be it. And I don't know what's going on up here.
I don't either. I know they got an inflatable bob over there that was blown up today.
We just chose the wrong way to go today. Hello. I don't know who you are.
I get that a lot. When I'm at work, people just wave at me and I'm like, I've never seen you before in my life.
Now they can probably hear that one.
That one was good.
That one was loud. And it doesn't really sound like it's metal on metal, so I'm not really thinking it's a flex plate. For those of you who don't know what the flex plate actually is, it's basically, if you've ever heard flywheel, it's the same thing as a flywheel, but it's for an automatic transmission. It's basically just a different name. It serves a different purpose instead of having like your clutch and throw out bearing up against it. It's just an automatic transmission. I had to do that one by your car.
Huh. I'm gonna end up selling that car anyway.
Are you?
Yeah. It's one of my plans. Oh wow, that was...
Yeah, you guys can probably hear that one. That one was pretty good. But I have no check engine light on or anything. Before I got on it, and it sent a cylinder misfire, which I actually never read, so I don't know which cylinder it was. So basically we're going from scratch here. And I hope that this will not only entertain you guys, but also give other people with the same motor or same issue a little help solving the problem. Feel free to like and subscribe to us. We should go get donuts. Yeah, that one was pretty good.
It sounds like it's
show you guys the motor on this for you who don't know what it looks like, and we're gonna attempt today to get to the valve springs. Now, for those of you who are wondering what I'm doing, I dropped something on the floor. I can't find it. There we go. Oh. Wondering why we're driving around. Well, if you notice, we pulled forward out of my garage, and we have to be the other way around, so I figured we might as well just go out and drive, because we don't have good lighting, because I just have a little garage.
No, it's too early for the fair.
Oh yeah, that one's a good one. I'm still above 40 psi on my oil, which is weird because I tried cleaning my lifters with something I saw on YouTube actually, which was adding automatic transmission fluid to my oil, and I don't know if that helps or not, but we're actually back now and getting ready to pull in the garage, so we're probably going to cut out here, and when you come back, actually you won't go anywhere, but when we start talking again, we won't even be in the truck anymore. How amazing is that? Okay, so we're in my garage now. This is a 2003 Chevy Blazer that we're going to be working on. This is four-wheel drive. So if we have to drop the oil pan or anything, we're probably actually just going to yank the motor out, flip it upside down, because on these four-wheel drives, for these 4.3s, to drop the oil pan is pretty much impossible to do, and if you can find a way to do it, I mean, good for you, but for us, we're trying to record and trying to help people out here. So we actually won't be able to record underneath the truck, because although there's ground clearance, there's not good lighting or anything like that. So right now what we're going to do, since we just have us two, we don't have any like camera crew or anything like that, we're actually going to take this hood off and mount the camera onto the windshield, point it down at the motor, that way you guys can kind of see what you're looking at. But as far as valve covers go, if you look down here in the motor, there's just everything in your way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this hood off, not only to help you guys out, but to give us a little more room to work too, and then we're going to start removing some non-essential stuff to get to these valve covers. That way we can test the lifters and the rockers, valve springs, and everything like that. To remove this hood, it's actually pretty simple. There's only 2 bolts, but they're hidden underneath this little protective skirting right here. So we're going to remove these screws here and get these bolts off, and then we're going to get started with you guys, okay? Thank you. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to like take off the air intake, and we're going to start breaking down the motor until we can get to the valve covers and actually tear those off and see if we can mess with lifters a little bit, check push rods and valve springs. We'll go from there. We're going to actually keep tearing down this motor until we actually solve what the problem is. We're going to go ahead and mount this camera to the windshield of the truck now, spin another truck a little bit. Maybe that way you guys can actually hear the knocking that I'm talking about a little bit louder. I know that you guys are going to have your ideas of what it is, and hopefully by the time this is actually on the internet here, we'll have it solved. So that is what we're talking about here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start with the this motor and see what we can figure out. We're going to start cleaning up the intake. Okay, so valve covers we got exposed now. One thing that, if you want to run it with the valve cover off, see if you can visually see where it's ticking and knocking from. You'll have to leave this coolant line on. However, to get better access, you can remove this coolant line, but don't run there because the water pump's going to turn coolant everywhere and make sure you have a bucket. Because if you disconnect it either here or here, you're right on the top. I don't know if you guys can see it from there or not, but 1, 2, and 3. And we have a 6-inch extension cord with a 13mm socket on it and a little slicer. That's actually going to allow us to get down in here and move this valve cover. Your AC compressor is going to make life a little difficult, so this is the back line right here. However, you should be able to wiggle it around all this stuff. This coolant line is actually not attached to anything, but the valve cover can pick it up and get it out of the way. Along with this electrical wire that runs over to the passenger side of your engine. This right here, I don't know if you guys can tell which side it is. This is actually the driver's side. This is that's the brake system. AC compressor is here. So when you go to remove it, you're actually going to have to push it back towards the firewall and lift up in front of the AC compressor. And then the front of the valve comes past the AC compressor and get everything out of it and underneath it. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. And we're going to go ahead and select the rocker. I'm actually move the camera down here to show you guys what we're talking about when you're Here's the valve cover, goes on the engine like this. And these are your 3 bolts that you'll be able to take out. We've already determined that this sounds like it's either coming from the driver's side or the bottom end. That's why we took off this valve cover first. And you can actually inspect your, to check if it's a lifter or a rocker by actually inspecting your rockers and making sure that none of them are cracked or broken. And then to test to see if your lifters are bad or maybe dirty, you can actually try to take these and rock them back and forth. And as you can see, these ones are not moving at all. So my rocker arms are fine, my lifters are fine. You can look at your valve springs. My valve springs are not torn up at all. They're not cracked or broken, so they're fine as well. Earlier I mentioned that I had automatic transmission fluid inside the oil. The reason for this is automatic transmission fluid is actually a very high detergent, and it can actually clean out your lifters if your lifters are dirty. Now, if they're completely failed, that won't work. However, I just wanted to explain that for anybody out there that had questions or concerns. If you have any questions about anything I've done thus far, go ahead and feel free to comment in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. However, we're going to start working on putting this valve cover back on and test further. Hello guys! That was probably really close to my face, I apologize. Devin, Glenn,
Zach.
Today's Easter. For those of you who don't know when we actually recorded this. Today's Easter, and the Easter Bunny did come last night. Engine hoist. Yep, that's right. We're gonna pull that out. And Glenn doesn't know this, but there's an engine stand in the back of Jade's car because O'Reilly's wasn't closed. So we can actually mount it on there too.
You done lied to me?
Yep.
How rude.
But anyway, this is coming out. Hope you guys enjoy. Hello, we're about ready to start ripping down the front side of this motor. That way we can get everything clear, because you can't just hook it up and pull it out. You got a lot of stuff that you need to pull out. However, what I'd recommend is get some small storage bags, some tape to mark off what you unplug from where you unplug it. Put the bolts from, let's just say like the alternator that we're going to be removing here pretty shortly. Take the bolts, put them inside the bags, right, the alternator bolts. Take your plugs that you unplug from the alternator, wrap it in tape, write alternator on it. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So the camera turned off for us. How nice. We managed to chase down the 13mm wrench that we need to fit underneath this. As Glenn's gonna break my hand.
And mine.
Not broke it is. Okay. So with this, we're actually going to take this nut and put it back onto the alternator. That way we don't lose it. However, I mean, you can tape onto this if you want that it's an alternator, but I don't know. You probably should know what an alternator looks like.
We didn't disconnect the battery.
Make sure you disconnect your battery. 8mm.
Alright, you go ahead and... Shit.
Make sure you go ahead and drop the nut into your radiator. Today is a great day.
Okay.
Key won't come out, but
That's unimportant. Battery's not connected.
there we go. For those of you wondering what I just did there, I went ahead and put the truck in neutral. That way, since we don't have a whole lot of working room here, when we actually pick the motor up and are ready to move it out, we're actually going to push the truck out of the way. We're going to put the engine then on an engine stand, and then we'll push the truck back in. For those of you who notice, we have rubber mallet, screwdriver, socket wrench extension, regular wrench, socket wrench extension, socket, pliers, socket wrench with a socket. This is not uncommon for us. I know it's not necessarily what everybody does, and honestly I can't blame you because we lose things all the time. But however, you actually won't have to disconnect your AC compressor. You can actually just take it, move it out of the way. Hopefully. So we got that done. We should probably go ahead and drain the radiator right now, but we're not going to do that.
No.
We're not going to do that. Nope, we're not. We're not. Actually, my idler pulley here is the bearings in it are shot. So we're gonna, when we take this off, we're actually not gonna put the same one back on. Same thing with this tensioner. The tensioner bearings are out, which sucks because that's just more shit we have to replace. But here soon we're gonna start working underneath the truck. I'm not sure if we'll have it on camera. I'm sure everybody knows how to drain their oil and drain the radiator, and if you don't, you probably shouldn't be tearing apart the motor. But anyway, if you're just watching, you know, if you have a little petcock on your radiator, that'll drain your radiator. Make sure to take off your radiator cap. It's kind of like this whole straw idea. Allow the airflow on the top, that way it comes out the bottom. You have a drain plug back underneath your drain pan along the firewall side that will drain your oil out of it. But we do need to drain the coolant before we can take any of these lines off. And then we're probably going to take this whole throttle body off. That way we can mount our mounting plate down and we can start disconnecting the flex plate, motor mounts, and all the fun stuff to actually pull this son of a bitch out of here. This is going to be fun. Trust me, guys.
Yay.
Yay. We're actually draining the radiator right now, which is taking quite some time because we don't want to leak it all over the place. We've also, we're draining the oil currently too. We did remove this radiator line from right here off the water pump. Right now what we're going to start doing is we're just going to start taking stuff off, labeling it, making sure we know where everything's going. We're going to start with these lines that actually run into the inside of the truck. That works. Not recommended.
Yeah.
To do this.
Definitely not.
But I am just a little bit too short. Just a little too short.
Too short? What?
Why? Why must you be an ass? God damn. So I'm glad I came and checked on the camera because apparently it has a timeout on it for recording. Sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna start talking louder because I just listened. Maybe I'm yelling now, but on the camera it didn't sound like you could really hear what we're saying. So sorry, you're still stuck. Anyway, you've probably been watching us fast forward for quite some time now. Motor's still on the track. Quite a tedious process here. But anyways, we should be getting somewhere, I think. Right now what we're struggling with is all the electrical wire that's around the motor. I'm sure that somebody out there has some sort of better way that we could be doing this, and hopefully it won't matter. I hate to say that, but hopefully this will be the first and last and only time that this motor has to be pulled out of the truck. Now eventually, I wouldn't mind swapping a 5.3 or 350 in here. And you may be wondering, why are we not just doing that now? Well, see, as you've probably seen in different shots while we've been recording, there's this red car that's actually in front of the truck we're working on. And that is a 1974 MGB. And we actually plan on putting a bigger motor in it. My wife likes it, so she wants it to be an automatic. This Blazer is an automatic. So we're thinking about swapping this 4.3 automatic into the MG. Why? Why would you do such a stupid thing? Well, it's easy.
Why not?
Because we already have the motor and we already have the transmission. And eventually it'll blow up, and then I'll be able to put a V8 and a standard transmission back in that car. There is a method to my madness, guys. Not a very good one, but there is one. Hello guys, I'm sorry not to mention this before, but we're actually going to make this episode into 2 parts. We were not able to get the motor out of the truck yesterday. We're not sure when we're actually going to be able to work on it again to pull the motor, but we've got it pretty much right now where we're finishing up the last steps. We have to take the engine away from the transmission and then off the motor mounts and all that fun stuff. Have to disconnect fuel lines and the exhaust, but the motor should be about ready to come out of the truck and mount to the engine stand itself. Sorry, it's really early in the morning right now. I don't know when we're going to get part 2 up, but this is part 1. Hopefully this will give you guys a little insight to the difficulty of the engine removal process for this 4.3 on 2003 Chevy Blazer 4-wheel drive. Thank you.